program and the Super Purpose program. And in the next 3 days, we will take you through not explaining what it is, but experiencing what it is. We'll take you through glimpses of what it is like to be part of those programs. So tomorrow morning, we'll do the Consciousness Advisor, tomorrow afternoon, Super Habits, then Wednesday afternoon, Super Relationships, and Thursday afternoon, Super Purpose. So with that, we hope that gives you a high-level overview now. The one last point I wanted to say is that this has really been an incredibly beautiful partnership with, of course, Dr. Nader and his beautiful, inspiring vision and his high-level strategy at the front, and all of us trying to figure out how to help him make that a reality. And then we also worked closely with the Consciousness Advisors to tell us, what do your clients need? And what they came back with was habits, purpose, relationships. So that is why we started with these 3 programs, because that was where there was the biggest demand of additional knowledge or additional programs. And then we also trained a highly skilled team to take the incredible knowledge that these experts, so we worked with the top experts in the movement, and to take their knowledge and turn it into these highly professional, interactive, high added value programs by training tech support people, designers who could make beautiful slides, experts of professional development programs to think, how do you make them interactive, etc. So it was really a lot of incredibly beautiful and devoted people coming together to create this whole for the movement. And then as a very last point for today, and then we'll hand it over to our dear Raja Hagelin. For those of you that are inspired, not just to try taking a session with a consciousness advisor, but to actually become a consciousness advisor, we also have some great news. The Consciousness Advisor program for TM teachers, also called the Executive Governor Program, has been running for a while, and any teacher can sign up at any point in time. And here is the QR code, and I'm sure our wonderful Jalal will put that in the chat for those of us watching online. The exciting news that we're actually officially announcing today is that we have an official start date for the new Consciousness Advisor course for meditators and siddhas. There's 2 prerequisites for this course. One is the new Consciousness Applied course, and 2 is the new Paradigm course. So those you watch them online, and then you have discussions with Keith Wallace and Ewan Finkelstein. And those are planned from mid-August till the end of November. And then early December, the actual Consciousness Advisor course for siddhas and meditators will start, and that will run well into next year. And so here is the QR code as well. Thank you, Chris. And then Jalal will also put it in the chat for those of you interested to learn more about that course. And with that, I will pass it back to our amazing Anna Marijke to introduce to you Dr. John Hagelin.
Thank you, Janet, Chris, Miriam, and Damien for these inspiring presentations on the conception and rollout of the new Consciousness Paradigm programs. It's my real pleasure to introduce you to Dr. John Hagelin, who will share some of the success stories of the Consciousness Advisor program in the United States. Dr. John Hagelin is a world-renowned quantum physicist, science and public policy expert, an educator, author, and leading proponent of peace. He is currently the international president of the Global Union of Scientists for Peace and the director of the Institute of Science, Technology, and Public Policy, a leading science and technology think tank. In addition to being responsible for the development of a highly successful grand unified field theory based on the superstring, he's one of the world's preeminent researchers on the effects of meditation on brain development and the use of meditation to address critical problems in the field of education, rehabilitation, and post-traumatic stress. Dr. Hagelin is a recipient of the prestigious Kilby Award, which recognizes scientists who have made major contributions to society through their applied research in the fields of science and technology. The award recognizes Dr. Hagelin as a scientist in the tradition of Einstein, Bohr, and Eddington. He's also the president of the Marshy University International and the national director of Marshy Foundation in the United States. Today, Dr. Hagelin will share with us some of the great success stories of the Consciousness Advisor programs that have been already taking place in the US. So over to you, Dr. Hagelin, and thank you for joining us online.
Thank you kindly for that introduction. This is a very exciting day and a very exciting time. Dr. Nader's grand vision of our TM movement, representatives, consciousness advisors, governors, becoming the premier provider and market leader in consciousness services is very timely and very inspiring. This is going to raise our TM movement's profile to a whole new level when our representatives, our consciousness advisors can elevate the lives of so many people through a broad spectrum of affordable, authentic, consciousness-based technologies that improve life profoundly in so many ways. And when our governors and consciousness advisors have such a rich and broad array of knowledge, understanding, and practical technologies to offer. As Dr. Nader has been saying very truly, our world is ripe and eager to understand and embrace consciousness. Before now, for years, consciousness has been really an enigma to science. Consciousness is, on the one hand, so fundamental to our experience, our life, our experience of life. We are our consciousness. And the fact that science has nothing to say about consciousness really is embarrassing. But this consciousness has stubbornly defied understanding from physics, from a neuroscience, or even philosophical perspective, really. And this has caused many physicists, for example, to shun the topic altogether. And yet, with no understanding of consciousness, where does that leave us? Two quick 30-second stories. One, my thesis advisor, doctoral dissertation advisor at Harvard University, was Nobel laureate Steven Weinberg, who brought us the unified electroweak theory. And after my second or so year with him, I had become so fascinated by consciousness. At that point, I'd been meditating from some 6 or so years. And my experiences of consciousness were becoming clearer and clearer, and really were just becoming so exciting and predominant in my life, I couldn't help but ask the wise man, the Nobel laureate, about consciousness, whether he had any ideas whatsoever, from a physics perspective, what consciousness is. And he got extremely nervous, and he said, "Don't think about consciousness." And then he caught himself, and he said, to explain, "It'll ruin your life." Now, clearly, Weinberg was someone who had thought about consciousness and failed. And it's easy to understand why a physicist would fail. They will be looking for consciousness in all the wrong places. But nonetheless, that was his experience. A different experience, a maybe more inspiring experience, was when the great Ed Witten, who is the principal mind in physics today, and the principal architect of string theory, and also the greatest mathematician in the world today. So he's no slouch. I was very lucky to share an office with him for some brief months when I was at Harvard, and he was, quite senior to me. He was asked about consciousness on a YouTube video any of you could probably find. And instead of, getting nervous, he went into just a reverent, extremely reverent and quiet state. And his eyes were tearing a little bit. And he said, because he'd just been giving this spectacular explanation of string theory. So he said, whatever it is, I don't think anything in 21st century can touch that reality. And that's a beautiful thing to say and very humble thing to say, because physicists have traditionally believed that they have the ultimate understanding of everything through their simple laws of Newtonian physics and subsequently quantum mechanics. They tend to believe that they can explain anything, including the origin of the universe. But when it comes to consciousness, they are speechless. So what Dr. Nader has done, this renowned neuroscientist and medical researcher, Dr. Tony Nader, he's clarified all this by showing that consciousness is not just an emergent phenomenon of our human brains, or maybe a dolphin brain. It's something related to that, but it's not fundamentally that. Instead, it is absolutely fundamental in nature, fundamental in nature. Indeed, back to the language of science, we could say it this way: it is the core nature, it is the core essence of the eternally non-changing unified field at the foundation of the entire universe. And that means that everything in the universe is an expression of consciousness, is made of consciousness, from the elementary particles to living organisms, from galaxies and planets and to the creatures that occupy them. And it means, as Dr. Nader has explained, that everything has consciousness in at least a rudimentary form, from the elementary particles, or in a very sophisticated form in the case of advanced beings like the human race. So anyway, this grand realization is becoming more and more an accepted reality, certainly a breakthrough understanding, but it's a breakthrough in understanding that attracts people when they hear it, if they're lucky enough to hear it, which Dr. Nader is making sure everybody hears it in the context of his incredible new book and even his previous books. So this is becoming more of an accepted reality in science today and creeping into the general public. And driving this transformation, really, to a very large extent, is Dr. Tony Nader, whose state-of-the-art education, whose brilliance, whose exceptional scientific contributions, and whose many years at Maharishi's own side has enabled him to deeply understand and clearly articulate this paradigm-changing, world-changing knowledge in a clear, logical, and compelling fashion, and to lead the world in a new direction. And the world needs this knowledge now. You look around us, you look to the world today, and fortunately, the world is, like never before, ready for this knowledge now. And as a result, these ideas and these consciousness technologies will quickly become a magnet in the market, or have already become a magnet in the market. The last point, our TM organization, Worldwide TM Family, is perfectly positioned, uniquely positioned to be the leader in this new field where consciousness meets science and where science meets consciousness. Because, firstly, Maharishi was, without a doubt, the world's foremost scientist of consciousness. I remember a front page, giant picture, color picture of Maharishi on the Detroit News one morning. And under Maharishi's really beautiful picture, it simply said, Maharishi dash Einstein in the field of consciousness. And I saw that, and I showed that to Maharishi. He was satisfied with that. which is, great. Anyway, so Maharishi is the world's foremost scientist of consciousness, and he hand-selected and trained many leaders of his global organization and many preeminent scientists to be leaders of his organization, starting with Dr. Tony Nader. The Vedic tradition of India includes many very powerful technologies of consciousness, and many of those were on the verge of being lost forever. So infatuated that India and the youth of India were towards the West and towards the US and towards the economic strength of some of those countries, they were beginning to just lose sight, lose interest in the remarkable heritage that they have. So many of these technologies, including, for example, Ayurveda and its purity and effectiveness, were on the verge of being lost, but Maharishi spent decades restoring all these technologies to their purity and full effectiveness, and then submitted them to scientific testing, to scientific experimentation, to confirm for the world their effectiveness. Dr. Nader's vision is that now is the time to bring all these technologies out because the world is ready. And because, I should say, we've already been able to confirm that the market is ready and eager for this knowledge and these technologies. And this is really my last point. The US was fortunate in being the first country in which the Consciousness Advisor program was rolled out. We launched it in September of last year, I guess roughly 10 months ago. And what we are seeing is that our meditators, and I'll say especially our advanced meditators who are in touch with their TM centers, truly love the Consciousness Advisors program. We started back then with just 2 conscious advisors who are also TM teachers, Paul Wilson and John Freeman. And from that very start, the client feedback was really excellent, as Miriam has said, really fulfilling. And many of those clients were inspired to learn advanced techniques of transcendental meditation and the cities to take advantage of Ayurvedic herbs, Vedic sound therapy, Jyotish, which is Vedic astrology, a very sophisticated and accurate form of astrology, the Maharishi Veda app, and a great deal more. And I have a short video from Paul and John. It's very short, just sharing their experiences. I'm not 100% confident that it will play. It'll play, and you'll be able to see it. But if you can't hear it, somebody can just wave me down, and I'll stop playing it. I've sent the link to this video in the chat box, chat column, so that it can be played from there. And then I'll give it a try. If it doesn't work, I'll wrap up. And certainly, if you wish to, you can see this short video later. So let me share it.
Yes, I play. We have video.
If you have it, why don't you go ahead and play it so that I don't mess up?
Yes,
And then
yes.
I'll just finish with a few words.
Hi, my name is Paul Wilson, and I enjoy being a certified consciousness advisor for several reasons. One is that I get to develop very close, often long-term relationships with my clients. I become very good friends with some of them. And then also, we're very fortunate in this program to have the support of an incredible international team, some of the best people I have ever worked with. The greatest successes I've had as a consciousness advisor have been particularly with people who were starting with beginner's minds and had no idea of the richness and depth of Maharishi's programs that I got to share with them. And several of those people have told me that their lives have been really dramatically changed.
Hi, everyone. John Freeman here. Why do clients like working with me in the Consciousness Advisor program? It's not me. It's the knowledge. They love the knowledge. They feel at home with it right away. They get it. They say that no advisor they've ever been to has this kind of knowledge that makes such complete sense and so transforming. They quickly get Maharishi technologies of consciousness, from the simplest ones like tongue scraping to the most advanced like Maharishi Vedic vibration. A person who just completed 10 is probably going to do another 10. 2 people have completed 2 sets of 3. Another person just completed a set of 3 and wants to do another one. They don't want to leave. I like to meet with everybody in person because I just like to connect in that way, but I always have one of these. Why? Because it's emotionally fulfilling and they just feel wonderful. It's great. How much do I enjoy the Consciousness Advisor program? It's immeasurable, infinite. I mean, I love the fact that the clients are so happy. That brings so much joy. But I also love the fact that I am getting consciousness is all that there is. And how? By speaking it out. I mean, my mind has gotten it for years and years, total knowledge, and it's so fulfilling. But speaking it out, 2 dimensions has become as if 3 dimensions. So now my heart seems to be meeting my mind. So every word that I'm speaking now is just coated with kindness. And I love it. And I'm so grateful to Dr. Nader for bringing justice, doing justice to Maharishi's total knowledge. And humanity is going to be blessed forever because of it. Thank you.
Well, I would call that a favorable endorsement, wouldn't you? Anyway, it's really fun to talk to our consciousness advisors. They love the whole process. They love the knowledge. They live the knowledge. And this has all been laid out so beautifully in the Consciousness Advisors course. So anyway, I just say, based on our wonderful initial success, many more consciousness advisors have now taken flight, including some who are not yet TM teachers. And we're starting now to see their first successes as well. So this is all very exciting. And I greatly look forward to this full-blown rollout, which is perfectly timed and designed for this special time when people are awakening to the foundational importance of consciousness in their lives. So I wish everyone the greatest success in this historic and transformational endeavor, which I strongly support and will do everything I can in my power to help out in every way. Jai Gurudev.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Hagelin. There we go. Thank you, Dr. Hagelin, for this blissful and inspiring presentation. Can everyone hear? Test, test. I hope our online participants can hear me too.
Yes, we can hear out here.
Can someone now I think we have it. Do we have?
Yes, we can
everyone
hear.
Online can hear?
Yes, we can hear.
Okay. So thank you, Dr. Hagelin, for this blissful and inspiring presentation. I think we're all excited to hearing more from our active consciousness advisors. So for everyone, this concludes the first day of our special assembly on the vision of the future of our TM organizations and the presentation on the latest developments in bringing consciousness-based programs to everyone. A special thanks goes to all our speakers today. Of course, first and foremost, Dr. Tony Nader, Dr. John Hagelin, Dr. Chancellor, Tom Factor, Kalar Berkers, Miriam Lodge, Damien Lodge, Janet Bray Atwood, and Chris Atwood. So a big round of applause. And of course, this also includes our great leaders who presented this morning with Dr. Bevan Morris and Dr. Neil Patterson, who are invaluable for everything that we do. I'd also like to thank our AV team, including the Meru video team and our online host Jalal Kaiser with support from Kader and many others, along with our tireless translators who are keeping up with translating all our presentations. So everyone, really a big round of applause for everyone behind the scene. And beside the Meru video team, I think everyone here who's here in person, we can give a big round of applause to the whole entire Meru team who is really nurturing us and allowing us to be together to enjoy this special assembly. So tomorrow, we will explore how you can benefit and participate in the Consciousness Advisor Program and its application in the Consciousness to Habit Change Program. You will also have a chance to learn about some of the transformational and big global initiatives of changing the world through consciousness. We'll start tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central European Summer Time. So we look forward to being with you, and a big thanks for everyone joining us online. It really, I know there's a world behind the lens here for us, and we're really grateful that you're with us all from around the world, and thank you all for being here with us in person. So we look forward to a full and fulfilling day tomorrow. Enjoy.